What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know why my stream deck didn't work then. That's why I took so long to speak. But we are here once again. I am back, and you're all happy to see me. I know you are. Yeah, we're back once again. Third time here for the sprint race and then the 27 lap race around the Autodromo, something along the lines Monza. Yeah, we are back, and this is how your championship standings look. We got Swan and Masic leading from Palmer and Zervo, so the two Haas drivers up there in the top four, looking very strong. Currently leading the constructor championship to Red Bull as well, with the Red Bull second driver, I believe, leaving the league a few races ago. So they've been held back from that, and Bates and thanks for that. Bates and Palmer also getting some good points and putting himself up into P3. 1 point ahead of Mercedes, who is being carried a little bit. It's being carried a little bit by what am I about? Who am I about? I forgot what I was talking now. Oh, Martin with 42 points. Pavic with 0, but the reserve of Cassie, I believe, last race, getting them some good points. But yeah, Pavic here today, so he will no longer be reserving, hoping to get his first points this season, along with a few others. There's Smith, Ducker, Adolf, and Unfi, all yet to score a point as well. You can see AlphaTauri on the 22.5 points because of their breach of rules, and Magic Fingers, thank you. I know you're probably not here still because it was 30 minutes ago, but thank you for the follow, and so thank you to Crockett G. Crocker G? Crocker G. I think that's how you say it, but thank you. Okay. Okay. Let me see. That's still not working. Ah, that's why. Sorted, I think. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. It is sorted now. Or is it? Oh, I've got to go and select all of them again. Oh well, we're still waiting to get in the lobby. We've got 16 seconds and then we'll be in. I'm going to turn the game audio up a little bit once we get in as well. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Magic Fingers is still here. Brilliant, brilliant. Love to see it. Okay, we are loaded into the lobby finally. Okay. Let's go to the screen. And let me just... Oh, brilliant. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Turn the game audio up a bit. Tell me if the game audio is too loud. Welcome back, Elsom. Don't know where you were. You mean back into the stream? Team Mitchie. Okay. Yeah, Mitchie. Let me have a look at his. Oh no, I don't have his reserve. He's got unlucky a few times. Couple fastest laps, couple pole positions. Could be the favourite for pole to here today. But let's see. Once we get in. Don't worry, I won't stay on this screen for long. This is just while we are waiting. What am I after? There we go. I don't think everyone's loaded in yet. I think we'll probably see a restart on the timer in a minute. Oh no, I can hear a car starting. I am wrong. Bring it to you, Mitchie. Who are you supporting, Magic Fingers? Who are you looking to get the Grand Slam this weekend? Duckett for the win. Oh no. You are delusional. He's on pole at the moment, provisional pole. Hasta class. Okay, so you're supporting the Haas boys. Interesting. I mean, they've been doing good all season, so I wouldn't put them past it. this be a good race for Mitchie. He's got Italian blood coursing through his veins. Oh, interesting. Not sure how factual that is, but say that as you will. We have got the championship leader leading everyone out in the Red Bull. So let's have a look. Actually, I want to see Swan's track record in the last few races. So getting the win in Bahrain, the season opener, after Mitchie getting a little bit shafted over by the game giving him the wrong tyres, and then Swan getting P8 and fastest lap in Australia. Wasn't a great race for him there, and P6 in Japan, and then another win in Canada last time out, which was a very, very commanding win. Pole position. I think that was a Grand Slam for him over in Canada. So showed he had the pace there. But what can he do here today? As we all ride on board with him for his first lap through this beautiful circuit. And it is just a fun circuit. We'll be seeing a lot of overtakes today, especially in that sprint race, I think. People will be going for it, and he gets that first sequence of corners perfect. Back on the power now into the Curva Grande. You can hug it as tight as you want here. It's a free lap time, really. Doesn't hug it all the way, but gets the car out nicely into the braking zone of the second chicane of the lap. A little bit of inside curve on that second apex, maybe ruining a little bit of confidence for him as he comes to the first Lesmo now. Could have extended over the curve a little bit there. I think we'll see a lot of drivers taking advantage of these curbs on the exits here, running it right up to the white line as he opens the DRS for the second time in this lap. And there's a... Oh, there we go. My alarm going off because my food's ready. Great. Purple sector 2, of course, because he's the first one to go through that. As he heads now down the second... I don't even know what this straight this is. I'm not going to lie, there's a Aston Martin getting a little bit in the way for a second there. Into Parabolica, which has been renamed, I know, but we all know it's Parabolica, let's be real. And up to the line, what is it going to be? We're going to be expecting a 119, 120, 121 around that area. It's going to be a 120.6 for Swan. Not too sure. Mitchell now beats that with a 120.2. Do we have Magnussen on a lap? No, he is on an out lap. Pavic is in the pits. So it could be Martin starting a lap, but I think we should have someone finishing a lap soon. It could be Best, who actually is retired from the session. Can we get a car going through there? No, it's not Swan, it's Huskitch. Damn it, I missed it. It looks like he just dropped it on the exit. Maybe too much curve. Yeah, into that wall. We saw a driver in Tier 2, I believe, of Alsop make the same mistake in the race. And that really cost him. I think Huskitch is going to come to complete his first lap, maybe? Yes, he is. And he's going to put it P4. A 123.8, not a great lap. Duck putting in a 121.3 as well. Oh, sorry, 21.3 as his teammate puts in a 22.0. The two Ferraris Unfi starting a lap. Kosev finishing his first lap at a 120.7. Good lap from him. As I think we're about to have Rory Bates start his first lap. Matic on a lap, and then Zerveld follow along to start his first lap of the session. Palmer is here to set his first lap. What is he going to manage to do? Looked strong last time out. He's got a P5 finish. What is he going to do? 22.0 exact. That's an impressive time. As Huskitch is actually spun. Maybe. Or is he just getting out of the way? I don't know. Everyone, it's time to be real, everybody. This is the cringest thing. As Martin now comes up to the line, what is he going to manage to do around here? He's going to put himself P4 with a 120.9. Sure he'll be happy with that this early on in the session. Apologies for the flicking through the drivers, but it's the easiest way to get down to P13, where Matic is currently, but puts himself P5 just behind Martin by 4 thousandths of a second. That's close. Pavic coming to set his first lap. I believe we're going to see both the Alfa Romeos into the pit lane. And then it is going to be Unfi, who's actually pulling out the way to allow Rory Bates to come through, who's set a purple sector 2. What can Rory Bates do in this session? He looks strong. Oh my god. Getting close to the front. He looked strong all last season. He's just got one more corner to go, but it's a tricky corner to maximise the time out of. He dives to the inside to give himself a wide wash on the exit and get the power down a little bit sooner. Here he comes, the Aston Martin driver up to the line. What is he going to manage to do? It's going to be a 21.1. We've seen Rory a few times this season set purple sectors, but did not really go anywhere. Zervard now is going to come and set a lap, and he's going to go P3 in the Haas. That's a good lap from Zervard, 20.6, putting himself within a couple of hundredths of Swan, or sorry, a hundredth of Swan ahead of him, but Mitchell looking comfy out there at the moment. Wonder if we're going to see Pavic to come and set his first lap as he's heading through the Ascari chicane. Wonder if he's going to carry on with this, or is he backed out? He could have backed out, but the game's giving me pretty terrible camera angles. Smith is out this session. I don't know how long he has been out. Awesome. How was Bahrain, mate? How is Bahrain? Here he comes on the exit of Parabolica now. What is he going to manage to do this lap? It's going to be a 22.0 for Pavic. Probably not too happy with that. Stays P10. Sorry, moves up to P10 ahead of Adolf and Huskic. As it looks like a few people coming into the pits. I think Martin... Yeah, Martin's come back into the pits now, so it'll be the first wave of drivers we're going to see is going to be led by Masic, maybe, but Unfi looks like he's pushing on for another lap here as he comes up to the line now. What is he going to manage? A 21.1 as well. The 21.1s are pretty close at the moment, as I think this is going to be Masic coming into the pit lane, Zervold into the pit lane. Magnussen yet to set a time. That's not like him, as Mitchell's coming to set his second flying lap of the session. That's right on board with the current provisional pole sitter, Bailey Mitchell, in the AlphaTauri. That would have scared him a little bit of the Red Bull weaving a little bit on the straights there. Into turn one we go. Hugs that inside curb. Gets a little bit out of shape on the second. We could see him back out this lap. Maybe a little bit too much time lost on that second corner there. But no, it looks like he's pushing on through the Curva Grande now. Braking at about the 80 metres to the corner, into this first left, over the curve for the right. Very aggressive here from Bailey Mitchell. I'm not sure if there's going to be too much of an improvement, but let's see. He goes through the first Lesmo now, extending it onto that curb. Braking very late for this corner, hugging the inside curb, onto the exit, opens the DRS once again. Actually, doesn't look like he... Has he opened the DRS? Oh, yeah, he did open it. It didn't come up on his wheel, though. Weird. Purple sector 2 here for the AlphaTauri driver. Very aggressive for Ascari. Doesn't take that inside apex curb, though. Here he goes. This is just a very patient run down into Parabolica, trying to get your braking right and turn in not too aggressively that you're going to lose the back end on exit. And here he goes, and he goes into the pits. That was great. Good job we stayed on board with him. But here's the man that's trying to beat him. Will Swan now, heading down the first pit straight. Into turn one we go, braking at about 100 metres. Anchoring the car into that first right-hander, pushing on the exit, trying to find the traction and not run too far into that curb as we sweep out left and then curve back round into the right. Hugging this a lot more tightly than his first lap. And he heads down into the second chicane. Actually, that's pretty well done. You want to just about stay off the sausage curb on the inside of that right-hander. Into the first Lesmo now. Washes a bit wide with a bit of understeer on entry, but recovers it well as Palmer's been disqualified. Not too sure what's happened there. Here he goes now, opening the DRS on that Red Bull as he flies up to Ascari. Look how fast they go down here. 3/10 up, Swan. That'll be close to Mitchell's time as if he keeps this up, but he's lost the back end. And he's spinning out of control and onto the runoff. That is not what you're going to want there. He did a great first and second sector. And he's going to get out of the way now for Magnussen, I think. Oh no, Magnussen is not on the lap anymore. So I think the next person to cross the line is going to be Ducker, I think. Yes, it is. Who is currently 2/10 up now. 2/10 of a second up on his last time. So he's looking for a low 21 still, though. Using a bit of curb on exit. Could have used a little bit more. But I'm sure he's just focusing on trying to improve himself up this field a bit. And Yeah, just trying to put himself at a better advantage for this race, but he's looking pretty low on fuel as well, so he's going to have to go for a slow in lap if he doesn't come into the pits now. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he's committing to this lap. What is he going to be? It's going to be a 21.0 for Ducker. Puts him up into P7. As I believe Luke Martin. No, sorry, it's Pavic, who is warming up for another lap. And then behind him is going to be Huskic, who is not on a lap. And then Adolf, who is invalidated. So it will be Martin to set his lap first. And he is pushing on by the looks of it. He's got full, well, half ERS as he heads into the braking zone now for Parabolica. Trying to push on this green. Oh, there's a spun. It's Adolf. It's spun into the wall at Parabolica, and Martin pulls off into the pits. Maybe not too happy with the lap time. As Zerveld now coming to finish his second lap of the session. Where is he going to put it? It's going to be a 21.681 for him. I think that might have been a glitch, though. I think he actually had already set that time. But his teammate, Noah Masic, race winner, two-time race winner this season. What is he going to manage to do? And I'm pretty sure that was glitched as well. Does it say... It didn't say they're on outlaps, does it? Well, let's ride on board with Noah Masic now. As he comes through... Actually, we'll ride on board with Zerval so we can catch Masic on the end of his lap. Nicely done through there. Look very clean. Coming through that chicane. Not too much fighting with the car. Could have run it a little bit wider then. They don't seem too comfortable to be running it onto that curb in this session. Maybe just not too comfortable with the cars yet in this qualifying setup. As we head now under the bridge of the old Monza layout. Into a scary purple sector 2 here for Zerveld. Looking very mighty around this track. Currently P3, but 2 tenths, nearly 3 tenths up on his current time. So he's aiming for a 20.3 at the moment, 20.4. What can he do in this final turn? There's a lot of time to be found in this if you don't take it right the first time round. A little bit of understeer kicking in, but he gets it settled nicely and he runs up to the line now, trying to maximise the exit. What is he going to manage to set? It's going to be a 20.2 for Zerveld. His teammate, Noah Masic, what is he going to manage to set? It's looking very tight up at the top now. And Masic pulling off into the pits. What is Swan's first name? Swan's first name is Will, I believe. I don't know if that's right. Bates is not on a lap. I think he's winding up for another one. No, he's going into the pits. Let's ride on board with Kosev here as he comes round now to set his second lap of the session. Currently up in P5. He's looking competitive this season. He's had a few mistakes, but he's recovered well. Up into P3 for him. At 20.4 puts himself ahead of the championship leader. And we'll ride on board with Magnussen now as he starts his second lap of this session. I'll be back in just a second, guys. Sorry about that. Look at that, back in time for him just to finish his lap. But is he going to go into the pit lane? No, he's not. He's going to push on to the line and set a 20.6 for Magnussen. That's what we like to see. Been on the podium a few times this season. And they're making him to look like it's going to be another one. I don't know if that made any sense. Whew. I had to run. Gamers don't run, everybody. But Mitchell, about to start his, what I'm going to guess is going to be the final lap for these guys. He's maybe gone out a little bit earlier than the rest. But he's going to have a lot of traffic to dodge on this lap. Hopefully no one gets in his way. Yeah, you've got a good few drivers on your team. Best having a little bit of an unfortunate mistake, but both very quick drivers. He's just got to hope that this guy doesn't stay in his way. I don't know who this is. He looked like he just tried to steal a bit of slipstream off him there. To head down under the bridge once again. And into the braking zone for Ascari. Hooks it in to the left-hander, but invalidates. He's invalidated. Mitchell has invalidated on the entry to Ascari. He's going to back off and wind up for another lap, but let's see. Is Swan pushing for the lap? No, he's not. I think both. Yeah, I think everybody's winding down for a lap now. But who has started the lap? I think Rory Bates has started his lap. He heads through the Curva Grande. What a name for a corner that is. He's found 200s in the first sector, which is a very short sector, so and it's only got a few corners in it, so looking good for him as he heads for the first Lesmo now. Nice helmet design there from the master himself. As we head for the second Lesmo, pushing on through the exit, he's properly attacking the track. His qualifying's over, so Mitchell, Kosev, Magnussen, Unfi already done. So Mitchell's got hope that Zerveld and like a Swan don't come and beat his time at the end of this qualifying session. But Rory Bates hooking the Scari up beautifully there, must be said. As we head up now once again to Parabolica. On the anchors now, hooks the car in right, gets a little bit of understeer on the entry there. I think under the brakes as there is a Haas in the wall. Let's hope for the sake of Zerveld it's not him, but it's Bates. Puts himself on pole position. Will he stay there though? Rory Bates on pole position at the moment. We're going to have Adolf coming around the final corner now. What is he going to manage to set in this session? Only a 121.2. Luke Martin next. Stays P7. Swan goes up to P2. Sorry, this is so hard to count who's going through. Pavic stays P12. But this is the man who could be stealing pole position away from the Aston Martin driver. What is Zervo going to manage to set? It's going to be a 20.5. Bates is on pole. And him and Swan have set the same time. Okay, well, that was exciting. They set the same time, but Rory got his lap in a little bit sooner. So, yeah, he takes the pole position away from Swan. But that is all British front row. 1, 2, 3 is what I meant to say. What a lap, though. We saw Rory just hook it up through the Ascari chicane. I pointed it out. It looked beautiful as he did it, and yeah, we can see how that pays off. Let me just put these results into the channel. Yeah, Roy just came out of nowhere there. I don't think anyone had predicted that he'd be on pole, but he does have a good pace. We saw him on the podium a few times last season, sorry. Okay, I didn't manage to get the second row, but I got the first screenshot. And obviously no lobby restarts. We have a few penalties, but they will be served in Silverstone. Also, we can see where Swan messed. Oh, god damn it! Why does it do this? Swan messing up on his second lap. Wait, what? Okay, no, it is working. It just was slow. There we go. Norway ahead of Denmark, then Sweden. Still here, magic thing. But here we go for the sprint race. 9 laps around the Monza circuit. Now, I'd like to point out, Hamada for Aston Martin won the Tier 1 race. Vlad Mosu for Aston Martin won the Tier 2 race. Rory Bates for Aston Martin is on pole for the sprint race. Guys, we can't have this. This isn't good enough. Everyone needs to step the game up. P2 to P16, no, P2 to P15, step your game up, alright? We're in a massive Aston Martin sandwich, okay? Yeah, Rory Bates on the podium last time out as well. Remember, P3 for him. After just taking a position off Martin due to penalties, and Zerveld staying out long on the hard tyres and lasting it all the way to the end of the race. Green reigns supreme. Shut up. Let's see if you're still saying that after one lap, eh? Remember, Monza turn 1. Monza turn 1, everybody. We'll have a quick look at tyre stuff. I think everyone but Huskic on mediums. Huskic on the softs. I think softs are a bit of a risk, but if you're at the back, then what have you got to lose, really? Zerveld been disqualified. Not too sure what that was for, but that's going to halter him to start this race. Simply invincible. Oh dear, that is not a good start to the weekend. Oh, to the sprint race for Rory Bates. Just about a metre or a couple feet away from his grid spot there. But let's see what he can do. What is this camera angle? Okay, fine. And away we go. And Swan getting a better start than Rory Bates, pulling alongside and into the lead of the race straight off the bat. And now Mitchell's going to be putting him under pressure into turn 1. What can he do? Rory Bates trying to go around the outside and hold it, taking the inside line for turn 2. And he does. Mitchell going off track, Bates going off track, Mitchell losing the back of the car and sliding to the side of Kosev. And that's put him down both a couple of positions at the start here. Mitchell down into P10. .6 seconds Swan has got already as Palmer, Rory's teammate, already up into P10, gained 6 positions off the start, but going off track there to maybe avoid a bit of contact. And there's going to be chasing Mitchell, who was Rory Bates' rival just a few corners ago. There's a big battle going on between Smith and Unfi up ahead. Smith losing a bit of momentum, and that's going to allow Palmer to sweep round the outside now. And up into Ascari for the first time in this sprint race. It's looking a little bit overcast, but I don't think we'll see enough rain to encourage wet tyres in this 9 laps. What the? Okay. Magnussen has fallen down as well. What's happened to Magnussen? He's fallen down 6 positions from P6, so interesting. Adolf up 6 positions. Unfi into the pits. Huh. Interesting. Around Monza, you wouldn't think, especially in the sprint race, you wouldn't need that. Martin up 5 positions. I can't tell what's going on. There's so much happening. Martin up 5 positions and up into P3 now. These two, once again, just like in Canada, going to be fighting it out for the podium positions. As Duckert's fallen down a few positions. Best into the pits as well. There's movement going on all through the field right now. Side by side, by side. Coming through the second chicane into first Lesmo. It looks like Kosev and Zerveld battling it out here for P7. Remember, points are awarded down to P8. And there's contact between Palmer and Zerveld. And who's that? Smith as well. All being collected at the second Lesmo. And Palmer, who was on for a great run of positions gained here, up into P9 from the back of the grid. Going to be tumbling down the order back into P11 now. I'm not sure whose fault that was. I'll try and get a quick replay on that once everything starts dying down. But Mitchell recovering well up into P5. I mean, he's still 5 seconds off the back of Martin, and then Bates is 2.8 seconds off the back of Swan now. But still, P10 on the first lap, and has recovered up into P5, and now looking to get that P4 off Noah Masic. What can he do? Is he going to manage to make the move here? No DRS active yet, but it will be active at the end of this lap. And Adolf sends it down the inside at turn 1. Nice little try there from the Alfa Romeo driver, but it's going to leave him vulnerable to Kosev on the exit, and he is going to lose a place from that. Down into P7 for him. And he's going to be coming under pressure now from Hugo Magnussen. And there's a yellow 1 sector flag, and it is Palmer, who I think just had a spin at the first chicane. Oh my, and there's contact now between Mitchell's been spun again. Not too sure whose fault that was. But Mitchell falling down the audio once again into P8. Still a point, but I'm sure not as many as he's hoping for. Thank you, Monkey Down, for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, and I think that's best now. The other AlphaTauri being spun at the same corner as his teammate was a few laps ago. But I'm going to bring up a quick replay of that incident between... why does it do this? Why? Just why? This is the incident between Zervald, Palmer and Smith. I can't tell quite. I think what it is, Zerveld tries to make the move down the inside of Palmer, and then Palmer has to go slower around the outside, which then Smith results in making contact with the back of Palmer. But it's an interesting one. I'm sure we'll be seeing a ticket on that. Has Mitch got a target on his back? Apparently. Yeah, he's not having the luck today, but Bates is closing up to Swan. 2/10 gained, and he's dropped Martin out of his DRS zone. So, are we going to see a Bates little comeback here to try and get his P1 position? Let's see. As the race goes on, there's a big fight happening for P5 right now. Kosev, Magnussen and Adolf all within a second. Let's see what they can do. Well, what Magnussen and Adolf can do and what Kosev can do to defend. The DRS straights down here, as here goes Magnussen now. Down the inside, into Sky chicane. Is he going to keep on track? He does. There's a nice clean move there from Magnussen down the inside. But is he going to manage to hold on to it? There's another big DRS straight coming up. And we know how powerful it can be. With Slipstream and luck, he's vulnerable on ERS. So this could be a big danger for Magnussen now. He could be looking at a double overtake. And he runs a bit wide on the final corner. It is not what you want when you're under this much pressure. Is Kosev going to manage to close up enough to make the overtake? I think he is. He's pulling alongside now. And so is Adolf. They're going to be 2 wide going into turn 1. I thought they were going to be 3 wide for a short moment, as it looks like Adolf run a bit deep there, and he did. And he's hit the back of Kosev, but Kosev recovers it well. It doesn't look any damage on the Alfa Romeo either. But it looks like Adolf maybe didn't have as much braking distance as he thought he had. But Magnussen down into P7 after being P5 just a few corners before. And Bates falling second now off the back of Swan. Not sure if that was a mistake, but Martin's closed up a little bit, but not by a second. So maybe Swan, realising he was closing, and just put the foot back down. And here we go, Mitchell now joining the back of this DRS train. We can see how fast Mitchell is here, and he's just not been able to show it. But he is now, as he pulls alongside the Alpine, but doesn't quite make the move. Purple sector 2 for him though. Considering he's been spun a few times on these tyres. playing it safe on the exit there as well. And Magnussen dumping more ERS to get into P6. Has he not learned his lesson? He does not want to be ahead going into this DRS zone, but he's trying it again. Let's see what he can do. Mitchell maybe looking to make the move here down the inside of Parabolica. No, not quite, but he is going to pull a little bit more momentum out of it than the Alfa Romeo. But no, the Alfa Romeo's got a bit of battery to play with by the looks of it. And Huskic is out of this session. Looks like he's lost it on the exit of Lesmo 1. And that's a safety car. In a 9-lap race. Are you okay? Looks like Adolf having to take the runoff that's impossible to take. Poor guy. Yeah, that doesn't work, that runoff. Yeah, wow, okay. This just got a lot more interesting. I don't think everyone's going to catch up. I think we might see the top 4 catch up, then the like 5th to 8th catch up, and then Palmer, I don't think they catched up, unfortunately. So I think the safety car is only going to be out 1 lap. Well, guys, who do we think is going to take the win in this sprint race? I mean, it might have seemed obvious a few laps ago, but there is a safety car now. It's going to greatly halter Swan's progress. I mean, he's going to be catching the safety car hit. Martin into the pits. What? No front wing. He's going for softs. Wait, is he going to manage to... No. That is... extremely interesting. Well, let's see what Martin can do on these softs. I mean, I don't think I would have done for that gamble, but he's lost a fair amount of positions from that. 5 positions. Oh, sorry, 4 positions. Lost from that pit stop. So it's an interesting gamble, but I don't know. Maybe it'll pay off. Maybe it'll pay off. I mean, I don't think the mediums are that dead though. So, yeah, maybe trying to cover off. Maybe thought other people would do it behind him, but it's still a very big risk. Okay, no, a lot more people than I thought were going to catch up, but the safety car is in this lap. Ice cream, thank you for the follow, mate. That won't be the RS, no. This is going to be a spicy end. I mean, Bates is going to give it everything here after that poor start. So let's see, we head back up to the front of the field. You can see Martin and Palmer joining the back, but I don't think the likes of Adolf, Best, Ducker and that are going to do it. Adolf pit as well, which is very interesting because he's now out of the top 10. Oh, sorry, out of this front fight, so... very interesting play from him, but here we go. We're back under green. Well, we will be now. Back under green flag running. And it doesn't look like anyone's going to be close enough to make a move on this first straightaway. Or maybe Palmer's going to try and send one on Martin, but no, Zerval's going to try and send one on Palmer and run a little bit deep onto the runoff. Going to have to rejoin the track safely there, and he does. And Magnussen getting a good run onto Mitchell here. But that's going to be Martin going around the outside maybe at Curva Grande. Not quite. Oof, my God. Oh my God. Mitchell is not having a good time at this corner today. But there goes Palmer's brand new tyres, giving a bit too much traction. And he is stuck in an absolute traffic jam right now. This is why you shouldn't pit under the safety car in this race, because people are not going to just let you by. And Swan already dropping Bates by a second, as it looks like one of the Alfa Romeos running a little bit deep at the second chicane. Magnussen picking up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be massive for him. He's going to drop down into P9, I think, with that. So it's very, very unfortunate. And I think if anyone does pick up a penalty in this top 9 battle right now, they're going to be a little bit screwed come the end of this race. But Magnussen's been spun out anyway. I'm not sure whose fault that was. I don't know if it's just a driver error, but yeah, Magnussen tumbling down the order. I think he will stay P9 due to the big gap between those guys. And it looks like Palmer closing and closing on Martin here. Is he going to manage to make the move? Not quite. And there's contact once again at the first chicane. There's going to be Kosev and Mitchell making contact. There just seems to be people running into the back of each other. Each corner around here. As Martin up into P4 once again, but 2.5 seconds to make up in a lap. I think he's lost the top 3 start in this race. I think he would have been alright if he stayed out. But now he's got a new set of softs as well. That could have been his only new set of softs, remember that. Thanks, Mitchell. Is that Zerveld? Zerveld's lost it at the exit of Lesmo 1. He needs to be careful not to get done there. Yeah, these guys... oh, no. Oh, my... Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, oh, Mitchell. Right over the under the rear wing now of Kosev. Is he going to manage to make the move here into Parabolica? He's going to try around the outside. No, not enough grip by the looks of it. He runs a little bit wide off the track. Is he going to get a better run into the line, though? Is it going to be close? No, not quite. Stays P6, but Swan is going to be your sprint race winner here, and he's going to be taking pole position for the main event. Followed by Bates, who started on pole position here, but just lost it at the start and hadn't been able to regain it with Swan's great pace. Masic finding himself 6 positions gained in this race, up into P3. Martin maybe a little bit annoyed at himself for taking that strategy gamble, but still going to be P4 on the grid for the main race. Kosev P5, staying where he was at the start of this race. Mitchell falling down a little bit, maybe a little bit angry at some of the drivers in this sprint race. And Palmer from the back of the grid up into P7, 9 positions gained for him and into the points. And Magnussen just rounding out the point paying positions here in this sprint race. But wow, there was a lot of collisions, but a lot of great racing as well that race. So yeah, hopefully it's something these guys can try and get out of themselves in this sprint race and keep it clean in the main race, you know. Amateur hour. But there you go. There is your final classification. Let me just grab the screenshots once again. So yeah, Swan is going to be on pole for the main event. The championship leader. Back up there once again. Zervold actually ended up finishing 15th in that race after that spin. Maybe didn't recover it too well, we saw. Unfortunate for him, as he was up in the top 10. But we're going to be heading on to the main race now, everybody. Exciting times. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh no, oh no. I'm going to sit down. I need to sit down. Thank you. Oh god. Xynix Z? Xynix XNIXEYX. That one. Thank you very much for that follow. I might have to sit down for this race, not gonna lie. Standing up there. Okay. Gonna be into the whole race. Oh no, this is not gonna be well. This is not gonna go well. Oh, and there we go. 3 disqualifications, and the race hasn't even started. Who's ready to watch some Demolition Derby, everybody? Are you ready? I am. I'm ready. I've been ready since qualifying, not gonna lie. So it's a full wet race. Well, not a full wet race, a full inter race. Who's the Waste guys? Luke has an intermediate setup apparently. So maybe that's why he was a bit compromised in qualifying and such. And that's why he might not have minded using those soft tyres in the sprint race. Let's see who does have a wet setup though, because you know the times were close in qualifying, but you know we don't know who could have been running a compromised setup in terms to get the speed and the consistency in this race. I don't think we really need to see tyres, do we? Because everyone, I'm going to guess, is on inters, yes. So we'll get a position change, and we'll get. I don't think we need much else, do we? Really? We'll get lap data up, and we can see. We don't even need lap data up. But here we go. Is the all lineup on the grid? God, stay off. There we go. And Swan is going to be leading these guys away. Let's start this race. You see the disqualified people up at the front there. Did Bates lined up properly on the set on the front row? You'd love to see it. But there you go. There is your grid order for the main event here, and we're right on board with Bates because it's not giving me a good camera angle. Sorry about that. Bates doesn't get away as well as Swan does. And he's going to get swamped down here. 4 cars all coming to attack him into the first corner. And it's going to be Martin up into P2 now as he head down into turn 1. Bates and Kosev going a bit deep, having to take the run off. Maybe getting a penalty for that. Let's have a look. Does he run out now through the Curva Grande? Oh my god, this is literally side by side. As they come through here in the wet for the first time. These guys are going to take a few laps to get used to these conditions. I think we might see a few driver errors here and there. Side by side here, Palmer and Duckett. And there's contact between Duckett and Zerveld, I think that is. Oh, sorry, Masic actually. Getting hit in the rear there by Duck. Rory went bowling. Oh no. Oh, and Duckett's gone off track, I think that was. Yeah, Duckett. And oh my god, Duckett's got damage on the first lap of this race, and there's a VSC. Interesting. So you got a virtual safety car here on the first lap. Oh no, it's a full safety. It's a full safety car. Zerveld up 6 positions. Yeah, he started P15 in this race, and up into P8 now. And we are expecting a stop apparently on lap 13 to 22. Not sure how right that is, but we'll take it. We'll take it. I think a few people are going to try and last this out if it's going to be inters all the way through. But this is Martin's shot at, like, getting himself back into the championship fight. He's had a few bad races. I mean, last race wasn't too bad, but he was pretty unhappy with it. And obviously Japan, well, those who know, you know. So, yeah, he's not been too happy with his results previously. But he will be looking to get this win and get himself back into the fight at the top of the field. I'm going to have a quick look at his... I can't, never mind. He's not yet to win a race this season as well. P2 in Bahrain. Once again, it was Swan that won, so Swan ahead of him. And Swan ahead of him once again here in Monza. But let's see. I don't know how long the safety car is going to stay out. Probably another lap at least. It depends how long these guys take to catch up in the rain. A few people pitting, if you didn't notice, by the way. Magnussen, Palmer, Unfi and Duckett. I believe Pavic as well. So, yeah. This is going to be interesting. I think they've just gone onto Inters, but I'm going to double check for you guys. Yeah, back onto Inters. 1 lap fresher Inters than everybody else. We've got a few penalties. A 5-second for Bates and a 5-second for Kosev. I'm guessing that's for taking the runoff at turn 1. Maybe just gaining a few positions that, yeah, I don't know. Interesting though. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can entertain you with right now. Luke goated? Oh no. What kind of drugs have you taken? Here we go. Safety car in this lap, everybody. Let's see some hype emojis in chat. No, it's not. That's cringe. Yeah, we're going to go back to racing. I would take Bates and Kosev's penalties with a pinch of salt, but they could still be legitimate. Let's see the kind of severity of their actions before we decide that. But no, they could still be on track P3 and P4 at the moment, so let's just keep that in mind. But we are going to go back to racing, and let's ride on board with Luke Martin, who apparently has been very quick in the first lap of this race before the safety car came out. So let's see how much pressure he can put Will Swan, the championship leader, under as we get back to racing. Looks like Will has still got that better straight line speed setup, which could be compromising Luke Martin. It does look like it stopped raining. It stopped raining, I think, as well, and the track looks like it's getting drier, so could Mercedes have made a little bit of an error? It's still raining. It just didn't look like it on the onboard there. But it does look like the track's getting drier still. Oh, and look, Martin's lost it! Potts, you have some explaining to do, my friend. But that puts Kosev up into P2. Mitchell, out of nowhere, back into P2. He's getting very, very on edge, though, through the corners there. See the car just wanting to slide all over the place. And now Best, the AlphaTauri, is up into P3 and P4, ahead of Bates, who just seems to be falling down the order at the moment. Kosev doing his best to hang on, but 1.7 seconds now to Swan. This could be another Swan domination, just like we saw in Canada. I did not teach him that. Are you sure? You seem to know it pretty well. But he's climbing his way back up the order now, past the Alfa Romeo of David Ducker. You see Kosev getting a big snap on the exit there. That's going to allow Mitchell to pull past him, or alongside him at least, as they head into Parabolica. Oh no, not quite. Maybe Mitchell running a little bit of a wet setup as well. Maybe that's why we saw... that's why we saw him struggle a bit in the sprint race compared to others. Actually, I'm not too sure. He's got a lot of straight line speed here, with no DRS, just battery alone, as they head down into turn 1. Oof, side by side through here. These two making contact already, I believe, this event. And that is going to be Kosev down into P3, Mitchell up into P2. And his teammate Best looking aggressive as well in P4 after being disqualified in qualifying. But 3.8 seconds now to Swan up ahead. He's looking mighty once again. And we've got a yellow flag. I'm not too sure what's happening. There's a big pile up. No, it's not a big pile up. It's Adolf. Just seemed to have lost the back end of his car and maybe putting himself into the wall. And he's beached on the sausage curb. Now, I would say that was a realistic position. However, I can't remember the rules we enforced, so we'll have to see that after the race. But that was a reset to track. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. But once again, these guys up front, Masic now, bringing himself into the top 5 fight. His bait's down into P6. He's having a bad time in these races. As Swan sets the new fastest lap on 129.4. We're about 10 seconds off what we saw in qualifying due to this wet weather. As Masic now looking fast down these straights, but not fast enough. His best. He's going to pull out to the inside now of Kosev up ahead. But he isn't going to manage to make the move as Kosev gives him the squeeze, and that's going to allow Masic now to pull alongside. Is he going to find the traction? No, not on that wet line on the inside. Caught in 4K in 720p, mate. 720p with a crappy bitrate. It seems like Mitchell and Swan may be on a bit of a different level today. It's 2.5 seconds now between Mitchell and Kosev, and 3.8 between Swan and Mitchell. So it'll be interesting to see if Mitchell can catch up to Swan. But Masic is all over the back of K-Best now as they go side by side under the bridge. Who is going to back out and who is going to concede the position? I think Best. Oh no, Best is still trying to play on the inside. There's Masic, like he went off track to make that overtake. So he could be being asked to give that back, but I think in real life he would be asked to give that back. But that's going to leave him susceptible now to Bates, who's found his way back into P5. But Best looking down the inside at Parabolico. He's going to give him the squeeze on the way out. He could cut these trees down. God, environment. And Best is going to put himself back up into P5. His teammate sets the fastest lap once again. Do you know what would be kind of an L? It just kind of came to me as a thought. Is if all of these guys, like these top 5 guys at the moment, and Zerveld maybe, we're all running wet setups in qualifying, and Rory's running a dry one, and that's why he got pole position. That could be a viable explanation, but I'm not too sure. As you see Masic running a little bit wide there, but Best isn't managing to cling on to the back of him, and he's falling down to P5 now, and Kosev's just hanging on in there, up in P3 for the Ferrari team. And the gap between Mitchell and Swan is growing ever so slightly each lap. So Mitchell not been able to make too much of an impression at the moment, as Pavic looks like he's about to get lapped. I do believe he is about to get lapped. And here goes Masic on Kosev. I don't think he was. I think he's just incredibly fast. Fair enough. Masic now going to be going side by side down the pit straight with Kosev, using the battery. No DRS, remember, due to the conditions. As we head into turn 1. Masic on the inside, Kosev on the outside, and Kosev can't hang it to get the inside line for turn 2. So that's going to be Masic up into P3 now. But a 4.6 second gap to Mitchell is a mighty job to try and close up to these guys now in these conditions. So Bates and Zerveld side by side through the Curva Grande into the chicane. Is anything going to change here? Bates looking for a switchback maybe. Not quite though. Doesn't get the better exit, and you see his teammate Palmer taking the escape road once again there. There's Huskic and Martin swap positions. I'm not sure if Huskic got an illegal overtake there. Maybe, as both Aston Martins now picking up penalties as well. Oh, and Huskic has lost it. Into the wall and back onto the other side, and he's out of this race. We literally caught all of that, and it was the slowest crash that we've probably seen. Wow, yeah. Unfortunate there for the Red Bull driver, but his teammate is still out leading this race, but it is going to be a safety car. Second safety? Yeah, second safety car, right? Yeah. God. I'm going to get delusional by the end of this season. Deadpool. Deadpool. I don't know why I find that so funny. But we have Kosev into the pits. Maybe this could be a smart play. It could be, or it could not be, because he's going to come out in fresh air, clean air. But that's not going to matter actually because it's a safety car. I'm slow today, and he has served a penalty by the looks of that. Oh, he served the 5 seconds he got to start the race. Was that Rory Bates is as well? And oh my god, this is why we call them Aston Martin, because they've double stacked with the driver ahead having a 5-second penalty. And I believe Palmer also had a 5-second penalty. So, oh, interesting. Slow stop there for Sam Palmer. Not sure if that was a glitch or a wheel being just pre there. Hydrate. Okay. Can you hear this? I'm gonna drink some of that Monza rain. Doesn't sound like beer. Who drinks beer? Beer's for old people, mate. Read minds, commentate while driving. Could you imagine? Let's all go. That would be the most disastrous thing I could imagine. He's up into P6 though. His race might have been saved here. But I'm not gonna speak too much on it because, yeah. Oh, do you know who's been very unfortunate right now? Is Pavic. I think he got lapped the lap before the safety car came out, and that has cost him, big time, big time. What is Zervel doing? Huh? Oh, right, okay, I see what you mean. I was like, what? He's just going behind the safety car. I think we're going to have another lap after this one. If I'm not going to be surprised if we do. But Kosev, serving that 5-second penalty and getting onto a new set of inters, that could be big for him. And it could save, if these guys pit, or even if they don't pit, the tyre wear is going to be pretty bad. Kosev could have done himself a big favour towards the end of this race as long as there isn't another safety car. That's what he's got to hope for. Let me just check if I did get this. I did. So we can see when a safety car has come out. Huskic getting a little bit of understeer on the entry there. Running a little bit too far on the grass. He clips this wall with his rear of the Red Bull and then just slowly slides into the left-hand side. And it is just one of those painful, slow spins that you see. And it's just, yeah, it is very, very unfortunate for him. What kind of pressure can Mitchell put on Swan now? Looking forward to seeing this unfold. Yeah, I think Mitchell and Swan looked pretty even on pace. I think Mitchell was maybe losing a tenth or so, if that, a lap. But now he has the assistance of Slipstream and maybe a full battery. We could see some changes to the lead. And don't count Masic out either. He took his time to get through the field. When he did, he's up into P3 now, and he's looked mighty racy in a couple of races this season. One thing to point out is between Mitchell and Swan, there is the back marker of Filip Pavic. So he could play a factor into this on being a bit compromising to Mitchell's restart. But let's see what happens there. This could be very interesting. Oh no. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Unfi is left the session. The Tifosi are behind you, Mitchie. I mean, they are Scuderia, so yeah, why not? But I think if anyone was being chatted on right now, I'm gonna keep my eye on Kosev. Kosev could be on for a good strategy here. Is the safety car gonna be in this lap? Yes, it is. Please, for the love of God, Smith, please catch up, please, please. Swan, go as slow as you like. I order you to go slow, otherwise you're banned. No, I'm joking. That was a joke for legal reasons. Please just go slow. Please. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Anyway, we're in a random board with Mitchell here because he's got this back marker between them. I don't know if is he gonna let him go. I think he is. I think he's staying well out of the way. He can't go alongside though until. Oh, Martin. Hey? Going to the pit lane is Martin. Looked like he was going 3 wide. Not anymore. He's going to go switch to the outside line. Try and overtake Zerveld here into turn 1. Nothing budging between these two. On the first corner, the second corner, they get alongside, but a little bit of contact made there between the Mercedes and the Haas. And they're going to level back out, but Kosev, Duck, and Magnussen going 3 wide, and Magnussen's off track. Where is he? He's just run onto the gravel a little bit. I think there's no space and maybe a little bit too much understeer kicking on in these wet conditions. There's big contact. Martin's out of the race. Zerveld and Martin collide once again. And once again, Martin's on the bad end of the stick. Oh no. Hamida, you called it. You called it. But that's not a safety car. Oh no. It's gone from bad to worse for Luke Martin here today. He's looking good for a podium finish at the start of this race. But it's all unfolded here on lap 12. I'm sure he is going to have some words to say on that. But let's head back to the main race. I mean, Mitchell and Swan still battling it out. Luke hit best, spun, and Zerveld collected him. Ah, dear. Oh, Zerveld into the pits. I thought he'd been involved in an incident. Zerveld into the pit lane. Maybe damage from that incident with Luke. I'm going to guess it is. Saw him have a little bit of a understeer problem. Yes, that is a front wing missing. Sorry, a front end plate missing off the Haas. As Bates and Palmer made contact. Smith up into P5. What? What on earth is going on in this race? 5 seconds between these lot, and that is another guy going off. I think that's Duckett running wide, and that's going to enforce Bates now to go onto the gravel. And the two Aston Martins have gone from 5th and 6th to 11th and 12th in the space of a lap. And now going to be battling for position through the second chicane. I think Roy Bates maybe letting his teammate go past a little bit there. But what on earth just happened there? I don't understand. I think Smith maybe has damage. No, he's just running a little bit wide. But he's gone from 5th to 8th in a couple of corners. Being swamped by these guys. Once you get offline around here, it's hard to recover well. And Mitchell's picking up a 3-second time penalty. That is massive. That is going to make Swan feel a lot more comfortable in the position he's in right now. But this is where the battle is. Smith defending off best. And nothing happening through there. Palmer and Bates obviously swapping positions, and both have penalties once again after coming in and serving them. As Swan sets the fastest lap of this race now. I think Mitchell's only hope is that it dries up and he can use the DRS to assist him on this overtake, because it's looking like it's going to be a pretty comfortable half a second gap between these guys each lap so far. Let's see what happens here. As Best closing up to the back of the McLaren now and pulls alongside. And into turn 1 is going to be far clear of him. But here comes Smith down the inside and makes contact with Adolf. Adolf recovering in P12 and going in the right direction once again. And Palmer and Bates back into the points paying position, and Smith back down to P11. I trying to see what's going on here. I think this is going to be the closest guys on track right now, other than the top two, but it seems like Swan has that under control. But here comes Smith. Well, I mean, it was an attempt, wasn't it? Attempted suicide. Yeah, Pavic also came into the pits, which was a weird one for me because he's come into the pit lane when he was a lap down and he was up at the front of the field. If you know, if Swan... Oh, Mitchell into the pit lane. Mitchell going on to a new set of Inters by the looks of it. Yes, it's a new set of Inters going on to the AlphaTauri. Interesting, okay. So it is going to be in Kosev. Oh no, he's got wing damage. He's got wing damage. Oh no. He was probably on for one of the greatest undercuts in history. I mean, he still kind of pulled it off. Up into P3 once again. And he is still in range to be leading this race if these two ahead pit. But with that wing damage, it could be hard for him to hold on. Let's have a look actually at stops. Who stopped? Oh, Magnussen stopped as well. So Magnussen, Unfi, and those guys could be on for a good strategy here. It depends whether these top two pit though. Good luck to you after this place. Oh mate. Oh no. I love this helmet design. I've got my helmet design. I just can't race, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Masic also 4 seconds off the back of Swan. I just think Swan, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's got this under control. And he sets the fastest lap once again. I think the track is drying. To me, it looks nearly dry. You can see the difference between where it's dry and where it's wet, but it's definitely not ready for slicks yet. Maybe a couple more laps as Masic comes into the pit lane now. What is he going to be going on? There'll be Inters as well. So Swan is the only one not to pit yet. F Swan. Not too much going on. Oh, maybe there is. No, Duck's collected a Ballard or something. Yeah, not too much going on. A lot of big gaps between each drivers at the moment. So I think until Swan pits and has to fight his way back through the field, we're not going to have too much action. And that is where Swan is going to have to start worrying. When he has to start overtaking cars around here in the wet. Unless he's hoping for it to dry up or hoping to have enough speed and enough pace to get clear of these guys and make a pit stop. Or he could not even be planning a pit stop at all. He could try and last this out. So let's see what happens here. I mean, a 13.5 second gap is pretty massive in a wet race. So let's have a look. Tyres, there you go. And here goes Masic on Ducko. We saw him pull into the pits last lap, and that tyre advantage coming in handy for him. As Duckett's 14 lap old intermediates now. Maybe feeling a little bit of wear. Duckett into the pit lane, I would have thought he would be. And his teammate going to go past him here. Adolf up into P10, so they're still going to be on for a point as Masic now getting ahead of the McLaren of Smith. Oh no, Smith, please, no, please. Zerveld overtaking Duckett in the pits as well, so is Best. Where is Duck? Is he coming out of the pits yet? He's only just getting out of the pits, so he's got some time to make up to get himself back in the fight for the points. Mitchell and Bates. Sorry? Yay. Is that to... Wait, was that a prime? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for the prime. Is that to pay for your damages, or...? But Mitchell, who is on the charge right now, maybe trying to undercut Swan, or maybe just get himself in the fight once again. But he's getting stuck a little bit here behind Rory Bates. We've seen Rory Bates defend well in Bahrain against him, as he's fighting Swan for the victory then as well. But down into Parabolica, what is he going to manage to do? Nothing quite yet. He might have to wait for the straight and hope that he has a better exit out of Parabolica here. He's going to try and go down the inside of the Aston Martin, and he does. He's going to get ahead of him on the exit, and it looks like he's going to stay ahead. Pavic picking up a 5-second time penalty, but I'm not sure he's too bothered about that at the moment. He's trying to find his way back into this race, but with only 10 laps to go, oh, sorry, 9 laps to go, yeah, it could be a bit of a challenge for him. And Kosev has actually been overtaken by Magnussen on the older tyres. Oh, but he's got that for wing damage, hasn't he? So he might have a little bit more wear, or just, you know, really struggling to get this car through the corners right now, as he's going to have his teammate on his tail very shortly. And trying to find out what's going to be the next big battle. I'm not too sure, unless we see Swan into the pits at some point. Let's see, he's going to come in this lap. He could stay out. He can, like I say, he's pulled out 3 seconds in the last few laps, so he might just stay out until the end of this race. He's got no reason not to try. Swan making up for it, yeah. I mean, if Swan wins, then you're basically paying for your crash 3 times, so I don't think Swan's going to pit either. Like I say, he's pulled out 3 seconds. He can just cruise now and just make sure he's within a second of these guys' lap times, and he'd be fine. He'll be fine. But it's just how much he has trust in that car at the moment. If he feels comfortable enough to, you know, to keep it on the road, then yeah, I'm sure he'll be all right. It's Adolf closing up to the back of Smith now. What is he going to manage to do? Nothing into turn 1. He's going to hold back. Smith would never. He's on 49% wear already. I still don't think he needs to pit. That's like 50% in 19 laps. He's only got a few more, like 8 more to do. So but we saw Mitchell overtake one Aston Martin a few laps ago, and he is now on the back of the other. Remember, Mitchell does have that 3-second time penalty for corner cutting as well, which could affect him towards the end of this race as Adolf gets past Smith into Ascari. I feel like this race has really been halted by the fact that there's no DRS. Oof. Mitchell pushing it to the limits there on the exit. That's the fastest lap, and he is going to. Ooh, he's got the overspeed, but is he going to manage to pull alongside into turn 1? Not quite. I'm sure Palmer using a little bit of battery, but later on the brakes goes Mitchell, and I think that's forced Palmer to go onto the runoff. Palmer picking up a 3-second time penalty for that as well, and he does let Mitchell by, as he should. But Palmer probably not too happy with that, and Mitchell pushing him to go later on the brakes, and we managed him to lock up and go straight on. So good stuff there from Smith. Is retired from the session in the pits. Okay. But yeah, Mitchell up into P5 now. 1.5 seconds to Unfi. But he's still got a big gap to P2 at least. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for him still to pull this back. And he goes off track again there. As we see the Aston Martin lose the back end there as well. We saw one of the Mercedes in Tier 1 nearly put it in the wall there as well. Heusenfeld. P13, let's go. Yeah, we're not having the best races today, are we, Monk? Masic closing up to the back of Rory Bates now. Rory Bates and Palmer just trying to hang on, do the best they can with these tyres. But I don't think Masic is going to show him any mercy on these fresher intermediates. And look at the speed he gets compared to these guys and the grip the track's offering him and the tyres are offering him now as he pulls alongside. Before the straights really even started, and puts himself up into P7, and is looking at the moment maybe to try and put himself ahead of Mitchell at the end of this race. The pace he's going at, and Mitchell's penalty in place. But there you go. Noah Masic ahead of Rory Bates, and Unfi has actually been overtaken by Mitchell. Sorry, I missed that. But Mitchell up into P4 now. And Unfi down into P5, and now Mitchell's got the, I think, the easier task of catching Kosev with wing damage and all these intermediates, as there's a Haas going off the track, and I think Bates and Zerval making a little bit of contact into turn 1. And yeah, that's going to be them getting it back on track and going once again, but Best up into P10, Zerval down into P11. Yeah, there's not much happening right now on track. Sorry about that. It's a bit boring. I think the DRS around here really helps with the action. Because in the Tier 1 and Tier 2 races, we didn't really get a... Well, I didn't commentate the Tier... Well, I did, but I didn't. But we didn't get a lot of breathing space. Let's ride on board with Masic once again, as he will be looking to make quick work of the other Aston Martin, and put himself up into P6, and once again try and close up to the back of Bailey Mitchell in P4, who has caught Kosev by 2 seconds that lap, showing how much that damage on Kosev's car is costing him. As Zervad re-overtakes Best, puts himself back into the points paying positions, but this is what we want to see. Zervad's teammate, Noah Masic, trying to make the move on Sam Palmer. Palmer using a little bit of battery, I'd say, out of that second corner. Put himself at a bit of a distance so he doesn't come under threat into the second chicane. But you can just see how much later Masic can be on the brakes and how much more obedient the car is just to turn in at his command. A little bit of understeer kicking in there, I think, for both of them there. I think there's tricky conditions, and the banked corners are probably not helping. DRS will not be active, remember, due to these tricky conditions. And Mitchell actually all over the back of Kosev, and Kosev washing out a little bit wide on the exit of the Sky. He's going to allow Mitchell just to pull alongside, but using the battery that he's probably had loads of time to save up on that Ferrari. It's going to keep him ahead into Parabolica, but let's see. Mitchell's going to find a tricky and just oh, he's going to go for the move here through Parabolica. I thought he was going to get pretty frustrated having to stay behind him with the wing damage. Let's see, can Kosev come back at him? I'm sure he's going to try for the sake of his teammate, and he is pulling alongside and pulling ahead once again into the braking zone as Masic pulls alongside Palmer and gets ahead of him before the braking zone as well. Kosev putting up a great fight here with damaged wing, and into the Curva Grande we go once again, and Kosev going to be leading Mitchell, and Mitchell leading Unfi, and Unfi leading Masic. And this fighting with Kosev is really costing Mitchell, because it could cost him a whole position in this race. Or, well, yeah, getting a little bit over the curve there. Could cost him the position to Masic. And maybe even Kosev's teammate, which I'm sure he's trying to do this for. As he pulls alongside through the first Lesmo. But going on the outside, Kosev can afford to be later on the brakes and take the safer line. And here we go once again, down the straight. Let's see how much battery does Kosev have. A lot more than Mitchell. Mitchell has been dumping that ARS to try and close up to these guys, and Kosev has the time to save up, and now he's deploying it in the right sectors to keep himself ahead. And we'll go on board with Masic once he closes up to the back of Unfi a bit, which we are expecting him to do, as Zerveld actually is all over the back of Best once again. These two swapping positions as well. I don't think we're going to see any change there. So we'll head back up to the top, where Mitchell has gone down the inside once again of Parabolica. And I think we're about to see Kosev do the same thing once again, going to the inside this time. And he's going to be close to the pit wall, but he's going to get himself ahead once again into the braking zone. And going to be headed to AlphaTauri for another lap. I'm sure Mitchell is getting pretty frustrated with this right now. Yeah, I was going to say, this is a great effort from Kosev with the wing damage. You see how much speed Mitchell has through the corners compared to Kosev. That full front wing, but Kosev just deploying and getting the exits he needs to keep ahead and just frustrate him. And Unfi's actually picked up a penalty. Sorry, I missed that. And that's gonna be very a big compromise to him now that Kosev's been holding Mitchell up for this many laps. But here we go down the straight once again. Mitchell with a little bit more ERS this time around. Is he going to manage to make the move work? Let's see. As they're going to have these two coming side by side behind as well. And Masic pulling ahead. Oh, a little bit of contact made. And Unfi's losing the back end, but he manages to get it under control. And Mitchell wants to go down the inside of Kosev because he has to run wide with that damage. But Kosev deploying and deploying and deploying all down this straight. He's going to pull alongside again and put himself ahead into the braking zone. But Mitchell trying to hold it down the inside this time around. Little bit of contact made. These two making contact in the sprint race and the main event multiple times. Mitchell getting a good exit, but going to have the outside line for Curva Grande, which we know is the slow line. Kosev pushing him to the outside, and he's going to take the move once again up into P3 for him. What a defence from Kosev. He's not letting this one go. Unfi falling down into P6 now, as I mentioned. And down the inside of Lesmo 2, you can see how frustrated Mitchell is getting with this. He's going to have to try and make a move somewhere else. And it looks like Kosev's doing everything he can. He's deploying the battery. He's got the overspeed. Is he going to try and make a move into Ascari just to throw him offline and try and see if he can win the position back? He is. Side by side into Ascari. Off track goes Kosev onto the grass and over the apex curb. Masic now looking angry behind to take that P4 position and maybe, just maybe, get himself into the toe distance of Mitchell ahead, but not quite this time around. And Kosev going to be pretty frustrated with the way he's treated there. I think Mitchell gave it a late turning, but Mitchell leads in the back end through Parabolica nearly into the wall. And you can see the overspeed that Masic has right now on the Ferrari, but we've seen how Kosev defended against Mitchell. Is he going to do the same to Masic? But look at the speed they both have. Mitchell just a couple meters ahead of them both as the head into turn 1 and turn 2. Kosev not fighting that one too hard. Alright, let's see what Masic can do now with a lot more ERS than his rival ahead of him. Bates and Unfi also fighting for position here. Palmer has got past Unfi, and now Bates will be looking to do the same. Maybe down the inside here into the second chicane. Not quite though on this occasion. Bates playing it safe here. He doesn't want to ruin the race on the penultimate lap. Oh, Masic is looking mighty through this second sector. Purple second sector for the Haas driver. And through the Ascari chicane for the second to last time. You see how much they're pushing, even in the wet, as the car pivots itself back into a straight line as we head down this straight. What is Masic going to manage to do here on the last time? We'll be heading down this straight for the full length. It's going to have to be a great defence here from Mitchell, deploying that ERS. So is Masic though, and he's got a bit more to play with. But is he going to reach him by the end of this straight? I think it's going to have to be a crazy fast car for him to do that. And it isn't quite on this occasion. He goes a little bit more deep and misses the apex as we've got a spun Mercedes of Jeff Pavic at the exit of Ascari. Poor Jeff. Into the second chicane once again. Masic not managing to do too much. Duckett setting the fastest lap of the race. Hello. Where did that come from? And Bates and Humphrey swapping positions behind. Bates going to pull alongside on the exit of the second chicane and get ahead into Lesmo 1. But these two are what we want to see right now, battling it out for position. Masic just has to stay behind. Remember, Mitchell has that penalty, so he will take P3 as it stands. And Magnussen, credit where it's due, P2. 22 lap old Inters. But this is the man that has absolutely dominated for the second time in a row and is going to take the race win here in Monza by 20 seconds on the same set of tyres. has absolutely dominated here and in Canada. Hugo Magnussen is going to take another podium to round off this race into P2 with 23 lap old intermediates. Great drive from him. That is his third podium of the season. Bailey Mitchell is going to drop down into P4, and Noah Matic will take that final podium position and the fastest lap on the last lap of this race. And Mitchell might not be too happy with P4, but he's had a very unfortunate weekend. Kosev holding on for P5, and Bates and Palmer getting a double points for Aston Martin. Unfi also getting double points for Ferrari in P8. Alf scraping the last few points, or scraping the last few points for Alfa Romeo. And Best is going to be the last points position, I believe. No, Zerval's going to take it on penalties. So Best not getting the maximum out of his potential today. Maximum out of his potential? No, that's not what I'm after. The maximum out of his race pace, I'd say. We saw him up in the top 5 at the start of this race, and he's looking pretty comfortable. But yeah, Magnussen, I would agree with the driver of the day there. I mean, that was a performance and a half. Whew. Wow. I'm not going to lie. I expected that to be a lot spicier than what it was. There's your race winner, Will Swan, taking the victory in Monza on probably the most prestigious podium there is in F1. So yeah, vote free in chat. We'll bring up a link and you can go and vote for your driver of the day. Alrighty, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do interviews. I need the results. Come on, game. And the game's not giving me the results. Great stuff. Love it. Love life. Okay. Am I going to have time to... Alright, I'm not going to have time to do interviews. I apologise. I'll do double the amount of interviews next race. But I apologise for that. And great racing from everyone. I mean, it was a very underwhelming race, I'd say. I can give you your driver of the day if I can find it. Hang on 1 second. I need to close this game because it takes up so much fucking CPU. Bye bye, game. Right. The winner of driver of the day is... Oh. Okay, hang on. Is Oh, it signed me out. Oh, you. There we go. The winner of the driver today is. No, it can't be. It can't. Right. Has this been rigged? I think it's been rigged. I think, right, Mercedes are disqualified. They have voted Luke Martin and Jeff Pavic as driver of the day. Um, so the real winner of driver of the day is Magnussen, I believe. Oh, Magnussen and Zerveld both on the same amount of votes. But Zerveld just got the last point in position, so yeah, a bit of a random one. But thank you all for putting your votes in. Let me clear those results. Okie dokie. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Pavic driver of the day. A lot of Pavic fans. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry I can't do interviews, but it has been fun, and I will see you guys on Friday. I think I will. I know I won't see you on Friday. I'll see you on Sunday. Sunday, 4 p.m. start. Remember, everybody, 4 p.m. because the real life Brazilian Grand Prix will otherwise clash with ours. So 4 p.m. for Tier 2 on Sunday, and then same time next week for Tier 3.